In a time of kings and castles, most men slept until the sun forced them awake. They believed rest was the only reward for a hard life. This is the story of one such man. His name was Elian. He was broke, he was tired, and he was invisible to the world. But he discovered a secret hidden in the darkness before dawn. A secret that didn't require magic or luck. It only required him to wake up while the rest of the world slept. This is how the 5 a.m. habit changed his destiny forever. Elian lived in a small, cold hut on the edge of a bustling market town. Every night he went to sleep hungry. Every morning he woke up with nothing but despair. He worked exhausting odd jobs, carrying heavy stones for merchants and cleaning stables, but the coins he earned were barely enough for a single loaf of bread. He watched the rich men of the town. They wore fine wool and ate the best meats. He wondered, what do they have that I do not? Are they smarter? Are they luckier? He was smart, he was strong, but he was trapped in a cycle of poverty. He believed his misery was a curse written in the stars. He felt like a ghost in his own life, a shadow that no one noticed. One evening, an old merchant stopped near his hut. His cart had broken a wheel. Elian, despite his exhaustion, helped him fix it. The merchant offered him food and a seat by the warmth of the fire. As they sat together, the old man spoke. He didn't talk about luck or fate. He talked about the mastery of time. "Young man," he said, "the sun gives the same daylight to the king and the peasant. But the man who uses the darkness before the sun rises, that man sees the daylight twice." Elian didn't understand. "What use is the dark?" he asked. The old man smiled and drifted into sleep. But Elian couldn't close his eyes. The words echoed in his mind. The man who uses the darkness sees the daylight twice. He decided to test the old man's riddle. That night he went to bed early. He was afraid of the cold, afraid of the dark, but he was more afraid of staying the same person forever. Before the rooster crowed, before the first bird sang, while the moon was still high in the sky, Elian woke up. It was freezing. It was pitch black. His body screamed at him to stay under his thin blanket. But he got up. He walked outside into a silent world. The village was a ghost town. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of absolute peace. He felt free from the judgment of others. He walked to the river and splashed ice-cold water on his face. He didn't have a plan yet. He just sat there watching the water flow, letting his mind clear. He walked to the empty market. In the quiet of the dawn, his mind worked differently. He noticed details he never saw during the chaos of the day. He saw opportunities where others saw nothing. And then the sun rose. The golden light hit his face, and for the first time, he didn't feel like a beggar watching the rich. He felt like a man watching his own world begin. He ran back to his hut. He remembered a broken axe head in his corner. He didn't try to become a millionaire that first morning. He just made his old axe useful again. He sharpened the steel until it was lethal. While others stumbled to the tavern for breakfast, Elian walked deep into the forest. He had 2 hours of hard work done before the world even opened its eyes. He chopped wood not for a master, but for his own future. By the time the sun was high, he had a pile of firewood ready to sell. A merchant needed wood for her furnace. She bought his entire pile immediately. It wasn't a fortune, but it was his money earned on his own terms. He realized he hadn't just earned coins. He had earned back his dignity. Every morning, through rain or frost, darkness or light, he became a ghost in the forest, working while others were paralyzed by dreams. He saved every coin. He bought a better axe, then a second one. He hired a young boy to help, then stronger men. Elian didn't just sell wood anymore. He controlled the supply. He held the power. The town began to respect the man who mastered the early hours. Years later, the old merchant returned to the town. He found not a broke peasant, but a wealthy and powerful trader. Elian bowed to him with deep respect. "You gave me the riddle that changed my life," Elian said. The old man smiled and shook his head. "I only gave you words. You gave yourself the discipline to act on them." Elian realized the world hadn't changed. He had. He stopped treating the early morning as a punishment and started treating it as his greatest gift. He taught his grandsons the secret of his empire. The first hour is yours. No merchants, no debts, no problems. Just you and your mind. Success was never about being the smartest person in the room. It was about starting while everyone else was still dreaming. It was about using the silence to find clarity before the noise of the day took over. If this story moved you, join the few who understand that greatness is built in the dark. Tell us in the comments, what time do you wake up? Are you seizing the darkness or letting it pass you by? Remember, the world can wait. Your destiny starts right now. Rise early, rise strong.